All right, good evening, everybody. This is W1RCP, and I have breaking news. Breaking news, but you'll have to hang on for just a minute. And good evening, David. It's good to see you here already early in the stream. And I do have some. I've got some stuff to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about how what I saw at Gigaparts just a little while ago might be changing the way that I POTA. And so this will be a little bit of POTA talk tonight, and we'll give a shout out to a couple folks tonight as well. And who do we have in the stream? Who's all here tonight? Let's see. I know I got David here already. And if you comment, we'll see who's in this. So, and PP Man, Mike Roberge. Now, Mike, for those of you that are here, I've teased him. He doesn't have a clue what I'm going to mention tonight. I am going to be talking about something that he made, and I have it right here. So I do have this, but I also want to talk about something that Eddie and I, KO4NLL, we discovered this Friday night while we were standing around the boat. And so I'm going to throw this idea in Mike's direction. This is something that he designed, the PP Spike, the PP Man Spike. And just right off the bat, you can get these at hamradioadventureguy.com. And I know that's quite a bit to type to hear, so http:// it's hamradioadventureguy.com, and I think I typed that right. If you go to his website and go to his store, he sells these PP spikes for a very specific mast, a carbon fiber mast. Now, I believe there's a carbon 6, which I do not own. But I do own the Gigaparts POTA 20. It's the exact part number is ZXP-POTA 20, POTA 20. And while I have not had an opportunity to actually deploy this antenna, I kind of had a death in the family this week. My K6ARK, if you follow the channel very well, my K6ARK random wire would have been perfect for this. Hey, Dan, my evening is going great. November 8, Tango India November is in the house along with Mike and David. This right here would have that, let's see, it's a 29-foot random wire. And what I wanted to do on the boat, and Chris, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, the man of the hour. That guy right there can, he can ground wave us on 20 meters from middle Georgia to anywhere that we are. And I don't know how he does it. Him and WD4DAN are the masters of the ground wave. But when I was on the boat, the last time that Eddie, Kilo Oscar 4 November Lava, and I did a boat trip, we did a Parks on the Air activation test using a jack kite pole and the 29-foot random wire. Yeah, see, Georgia Parks and Propagation says he got Kilo 4 hiking to Hammond on, sorry, I got a text from something that was pretty important. So on 20 meters in Florida, it's ridiculous. Or he got him on 15 meters. So I'm going to show you guys, first of all, this is why I was a minute late. I went out and got this because this is my 31-foot jack kite pole. And so I had a 29-foot random wire that would fit perfectly on this. And this goes into the receiver of the truck or the back of the Jeep when the trailer's not connected. And on the inside, if it will let me have it, I don't know why it's not letting me take this out, but, well, one, my wife ran over these, so they're not straight anymore. So, the first thing I noticed when I brought this in is my rubber cap is missing on the 31-foot jack kite pole. But this, if you can see, I can't even get this on camera, is about 3 feet long, 36 inches, give or take. So I can almost fit it if I turn it crooked like that. So this is a great pole. The tip is pretty sturdy on the jack kite pole, which if you Google jack kite pole or search it up on the web, you'll probably find the company that makes these. And this changed the way that I POTA'd to begin with. And it, see, I need the cap on it. So this is, here, I'll tell you, it's at jackkite.com. Not a sponsor, but it's a 31-foot fiberglass telescoping kite pole. Now, of course, this is pretty hefty because it's probably made for flying kites. Literally. Flying kites. But it could probably withstand hurricane force winds too. So when I got this for Christmas about 2 years ago, that really changed the antenna options that I could use with or without trees. So the purpose for the stream is twofold. One, it's to talk about the POTA 20. Now, this is not 31 feet. It's 20 feet. And so that's why I needed that antenna. My random wire died. K6ARK, Adam, he's sending me a replacement part for it, which is awesome. That dude, man, he knows how to run a business now. It is his spare time. I never expect to get an email immediately back from him. Heck, I don't expect an email within 3 days. This is his hobby, is making K6ARK antennas. Again, not a sponsor. But PP Man, Mike, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Tango X-Ray, has a very innovative way to connect this to the ground, and it's called the PP Man spike. And so I have learned from the last stream that you put the 550 cord in first, and then you put it in the right way. So the first thing you have to do is kind of loosen the top just a little bit, because when you put it in, it's going to push up on your, it's going to push up on the, all right, so that's how it looks. I have not put tape on mine yet, Mike, PP Man. I'm going to put some tape around mine. He had to design this with a little bit of play in it so it doesn't stay in. He's got a little bit of play in it so that if there's any manufacturing defects in these or manufacturing differences between one piece of carbon fiber and the next, that it will fit in any one that you get. So that's pretty awesome. And I have something to talk about. You know, I noticed that the last live stream that we did on Friday, I don't complete sentences. That's ADD. It is late in the afternoon, late in the evening, so I'm definitely not able to complete a sentence. But you take this, you put your antenna on it. That's what I needed that random wire for. What I had planned to do was to take the random wire from the tip of this, extend it to 20 feet, and then run it to the back of the boat. That was my plan. And I think that it would fit perfectly to make a sloper. And because my random wire, the only 100 watt random wire that I have, is burned up, I didn't have that option. On when we did our POTA yesterday, we took KN4 SWS and KO4 FHS, that's John and Diane Martin. We took them on a Swanee River rove. We went to 2 parks on the Swanee River. They were not, well, one was on the Swanee River, one was actually on the Withlacoochee, which is a little bit more north. It does run into the Swanee River, but that would be one heck of a boat ride. We went to this one that was literally maybe 1,000 feet away. I just had to idle and we were there. Right out of the boat ramp, we were there. And we were able to work Georgia Parks and propagation, I think, on 40 meters and 20 meters, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe we didn't get you on 40 meters. We were at 100 feet above ground level sitting on the water. So the water of the Suwannee River and the Alapaha is right at 100 feet above sea level. We had somewhere between 10 and 12 feet, depending on where we were, of dirt, and then 70 feet of trees all around us. So we did have some propagation issues that, again, yes. And then we heard banjos. They were bad. But then at the next place, 40 meters, we didn't even try because it was, I think, 3:30 in the afternoon down here. So 17:30 Zulu. So we just went to 20 meters. And what I used for that one was the MFJ 1898 telescoping vertical, which was fine. But that vertical, the whole antenna only stands about 8 feet tall. So I think that this would have been great. Now, so Mike, you still here? Because I'm about to say what I didn't tell you on the text. Let's see if he's still here. And has anybody used the POTA 20 MAST yet? Has anybody used either this one or the Carbon 6 20-footer on an activation? Mike, you are here. And how many activations have you done with this antenna and the PP spike? That's, yep. Chris, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar Georgia Parks and Propagation said he has not used one yet. He has the Soda Beam 7000 HDS. I need to go look that up. And so Kilo Echo 8 Papa Tango X-Ray has done over 180 activations with this very setup right here. And now he has an interesting balun and antenna setup. And I'll tell you, I think I'm going to get one or make one. If I can find the right number 42 type 42 toroid, I may wind up making one for 100 watts. He's a QRP guy. They're a lot smaller, a lot lighter, backpackable, which is great. But a lot of times I like to run 100 watts when I'm going places. It's just me. I'll run QRP when I want to run QRP. Not knocking it. I love QRP. But some days I want to work everybody and leave a heck of a pile behind when I run out of time. So he's used this 180 plus activations. I have not been able to take it out myself, but I wanted to go ahead and say that if you do not have Ham Radio Adventure Guy, he's in my stream? Oh my gosh. So speak of the devil, we just gave you a shout out, James, with the PP Spike. So if you want to put your shout out in the chat for those that are watching for the PP Spike. So here's the deal. I'm going to put this back in here. So Eddie and I have done, I think together, if you count the two that we did, there goes the crowd. Yeah, there's no pile up here. 2 boat activations. We did one at Reed Bingham to test it with the large and in charge jack kite pole that, again, is similar to an Eagle 1, which if you want, again, I'm putting a plug out there for Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Get with him on his channel. I think he's got some secrets if you want the Eagle 1. It's similar to that. And with the boat activations, getting back on track. Not 3 times, get your ADHD back on track. What Eddie and I noticed Friday night, when we went out to go look at the boat, we were just making sure that it was set, ready to go. See, I've done at least 3 boat activations now, 3 separate occasions. And one of them, I used the random wire. At one of the places, I just threw it up over a tree, and that was fine. But there is another one of these poles coming out very soon, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But what we noticed was the PP spike fits in the front seat mount on the front of my 16-foot John boat, and this spike will drop right down in there. Now, it's not as flexible as dirt. That is one of the situations. Is definitely not as flexible as dirt. But what is great is this PP spike, if something were to happen, it can bend. But now in the boat holder, it sits firmly down inside of the entire, I don't even know what you call it, but the hole that the seat sits in, the bushing hole, I don't know. I'm talking about holes here. But it sits firmly down in it. Uh-oh, we got a question. Did you get your park activated, James? N-A-T-I-N, Dan, has asked that question. So it sits firmly down in there. And now, on the boat, we don't believe that we would need the guying ring. Unless there were high winds, we don't think that we would need this even if there were high winds, because this is going to be very firm in there. So that is one of the, either you could call it a pro or a con, because it's going to put some stress on the actual mast. So let me put this back really quick, put it back together, and put the cap back on. And then on the other side, we'll take this out, and I will put the screw cap back on here. This is another thing that I really like about the POTA 20 versus my jack kite pole, is the end cap. Although we don't think getting a replacement for one would be very easy. If you could figure out the threads, you could probably 3D print a replacement pretty easily. But the end of the 100-footer, this is a con. You can see right here where I took super glue and some nylon string. The end cap will bust out of these really easily. I had dropped this on an activation shortly after we went to the to Wausau and Ossabaw Islands, just off the coast of Georgia. I dropped it on the ground and broke the end cap off. The plastic part just shattered. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to go to the Chrome Web. You know what? Before we move on, let me do this really quick. Bear with me just a moment. I have got to put one more thing in here. So, who am I going to ask? James, do you have the POTA 20 mast and the PP spike? And if so, have you used it in activation? Yes, I will put it. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mike has reminded me to put a tether in for the cap. And that is absolutely right. So the putting a cap, all right, I'm going to bring it back. This right here, what we're going to do is we're going to drill a small hole right there. And we are going to put a piece of string or 550 cord, something. I'm not sure what I'm going to use for mine, but you can tie a knot right here. He also said that he countersunk this. He was worried that having that knot sticking up right here. Oh, I just saw a heart go by. And then you put this back on. You've got your string hanging out right here. And what he did is, I think he has his favorite color, orange, electrical tape holding that on. Okay, so he says mallow line. I'm going to have to check that out. I don't know what that is. I was thinking maybe, yes, I have the pole. Yes, I've used it. Yes, I use small wire antennas with the, he's calling it the QRP mast. Right. Yes, this is definitely, I think you can run more than QRP. The wires that I use, I think, are 24 or 26 gauge as well. I mean, I love them. You can run 100 watts through that, no problem. And Dan, N8TIN, he did get his activation in. So I'm going to transition for just a second. And when we go to this, you will see that I have some fans. Some of them are new, some of them are not new. Toby, Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta, has been a member for 2 months now. Thank you, Toby. Kilo Oscar 4, Fart Sniffing Zebras Antennas. KO4, Fox Said Zulu. became a member on Friday night, and we'll give a shout out to him. You can go to Kilo Oscar 4 Fox Sierra Zulu, I think it's antennas.com. He makes all kinds of antennas, and I'm tempted to not make one and just let him make it for me. But it's just a temptation because I also like to make antennas. Then on the Fan of Growth, I've got WD4DAN, front end overload just joined, and then Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, who is in the stream tonight and has made his presence known, is also a new Fan of Growth, Georgia Parks and Propagation. And now all three of the new joiners also have a YouTube channel. And so if you'll go check them out and join their YouTube channel, give them some likes and some subscribes. And here is where we're headed with this right now. We are going to Gigaparts, and I thought that I was going to get a notification about this. This is the purpose of this stream, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it, and I want to share some of my ideas with this. This is the Explorer POTA 20. It's a 20-foot mast that literally fits in your hand. It is the craziest. This is amazing. So I have one of these. I got this at the Huntsville Ham Fest. I did not get in on the initial order. Should have long time ago and just got it. Because if you were to have ordered them, they go so fast. So you need to get an order if you want a 20-footer. And it's carbon fiber. It is very lightweight. I want to say that it's maybe 8 ounces, 10 ounces. Hey, Spike's available on Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November. He's the Ham Radio Adventure guy. Thank you for the super chat, super sticker thingy, James. And let's go. Type this in again. HTTP hamradioadventureguy.com. This is, you can write that off as a business expense on your taxes. And that was also your third super chat ever on a live stream, James. That's pretty awesome. So hamradioadventureguy.com. And how do I know that? Oh, because I'm the one who hosts it. So I tell you what, let's go there right now. This is off topic, hamradioadventureguy.com. I'll go ahead and show you guys. You go to his webpage, and when you scroll down, you have Shop HRAG Gear. Shop now. You click Shop now. There is the PP sauce right so you can get it with or without the guy ring. I suggest you get that guy ring. If you don't, now PP Man has said that you could probably just take one piece of guy string, rope, whatever you're using, and put that upwind of your mast, and you'll probably be okay. That will take most of the load off of your PP spike. So if you have a Carbon 6 or the POTA 20 from Gigaparts, this is a great addition. It is awesome. $15. I mean, that is a dadgum deal right there. So the POTA 20, do they have the weight on here? I didn't even think about it. It popped in my head just a minute ago. Because if you are a hiker, ounces equals pounds. Ounces become pounds. So let's see, the Marlin. Okay, so Myra Bearish has just DM'd me. Top secret info, new spike stuff coming possibly by the end of the week. That is true. Thank you, Mike. The mast weighs 11.9 ounces. This one does. So definitely, if you're a hiker, if you've got access to trees, you're probably not going to be taking this with you. But if you're like me and I'm not going to have to walk very far and to get into a park, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Again, there's some new news that has been dropped at Gigaparts, and I'm about to get into that right now. We're about to hit that 30-minute mark, but it has something to do with this and possibly the new top secret PP spike. I know about it. I'm not going to say anything about the new one. If Mike wants to put that in the chat, Mike and James, if they want to knock that one out of the park, that's all right. So, again, let me finish up by saying thank you to the fans that have become members of the channel. That helps out defray some of the costs. It sure ain't going to defray all of them because ham radio can get expensive. But it gives me an opportunity to do more as well. I have entered the Gigaparts being into the loaner program, so I should be able to do some more reviews of stuff. Okay, you go ahead and spill the beans. Okie dokie. So, this is how well I listen. Mike listened to his talking about the PP spike here, and we will go back to full-size camera. The thing about the PP spike is this one's all right, but he has already, I mean, this thing hadn't even been out too long, and he's already thinking of improvements. So if you take a hammer and hammer this, you're going to get away with it once, twice, maybe thrice. Oh my goodness. Georgia Parks and Propagation has found him some wild emojis there. If you hammer it, you're only going to hammer it a couple times before this tent stake starts to chew through the plastic, and then it's going to pop out the other side. And then I guess you can continue on hammering, but you're going to run into some issues. So Mike went to Canada this past 2 weekends ago. He was up there for a good minute. I think you were there for about a week, and I was not near a radio to chase him, sadly. But he found another tent stake that is about this much longer, and he's making an adjustment to this part right here where the spike is going to stick at the actual spike. Oh, he was there a month. Told you I don't listen very well. I was probably napping when you said that part. But at the top, he's got the spike coming out of the top just a little bit, so that if you're in some of those places like South Georgia where the red clay is just, you're not going to manually, by hand, push this through red clay. No way. So it adds a little bit of length on this end, but it brings the top of this, and Eddie just got some more of these in. He's got some blue ones that are the same ones. I should have brought it in to show you to be able to visualize this better. And if you'll give me a minute, I'll tell you what. I will just remove the string and take this apart and show you how this works. So it comes shipped to you most likely like this with the string around the antenna or the spike itself. This is just a he says, hold my bear, I love red clay. All right, so we'll probably see a ham radio adventure guy stabbing this right through some of that West Virginia red clay. So, and then he corrects the spelling as if I was going to read the next word that he said. I'm not holding this crackhead bear, but it's going to go all the way through like this, and then this is going to be up on the top like this, but you can hit this with a hammer pretty good, and it's going to last a little bit longer. But even after the top starts to split and fray, it's going to protect your plastic piece, because even if these three turn into dog ears and lay over, you've still got something that you can hammer against your spike. So the other thing is that replacing the spike, if the top gets bent, because this slides all the way through in both directions, because you can see you can put it in backwards, it's not going to serve you much good that way. But on the new one that he's going to make, this will slide all the way through. So if you bend it at the bottom and you can't straighten it, you can take it from the top. If you bend it at the top, then you just push it through the top and whoop, you take it out. If you bend it on both sides, these things right here will definitely tear your hand to pieces. If you try to push down on that, it is going to leave a mark. And if these do get hit with a hammer, they become sharp too. Gray Man Pota's here tonight. Hey, Gray Man Pota, how are you, buddy? All right, so if you were to bend both ends, you can just take a hacksaw or a cutoff blade, cut that off, and then it'll still slide out from one direction. So the reason that we are here tonight is, okay, I hope you are not leaving. Okay, I was about to say, Gray Man POTA said, living the POTA dream. That's the problem with typing on phones, is they want to correct your spelling. So back to the web. Now, as I was looking at this evening, and now I did this on purpose, but I didn't think I was going to see anything, and this is the big news that I think is coming. Jason at Gigaparts was great to talk to. So if you didn't see my Huntsville Hamville video, Jason was right there somewhere in the first couple minutes, and you can look at the bottom and see where I interviewed him. He showed me a lot of their Explorer 20 stuff. I have a bunch of it. I've got 2 Explorer bags. I bought one and won one from Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, and I've got a bunch of their bags and stuff. But as I was scrolling down the page, because you can see they've got the bag, I recommend it. It's great. It fits nice. They also have pouches, different pouches. And since I'm not really getting paid from Gigaparts at all for this, Temu has some pouches that fit great on it. But that's not the point of this. I scrolled down just to see what was, hey, come on now. I scrolled too far, sorry. So I was scrolling down and I saw this right here. Must have accessories. And I clicked it and I said, holy cow. The Explorer POTA 33 has been posted to their site. Yes, they are soulmates. Gray Man POTA and Ham Radio Adventure Guy's phone both corrected their spelling to something else. It did change the meaning a little bit for James, because holding his bear would not be fun, and for Gray Man to be leaving the POTA dream would I would need an exit survey first. But guys, the POTA 33 can be pre-ordered. Now, why is that important to me, and how is that going to change how I POTA? Well, one, it's not much bigger than this. Now, I know some other people, some other YouTubers have already leaked this information out. I'm not new to the game that the POTA 33 is coming out. I held it at the Hamfest. I was told that I was not allowed to record it. So be it. Some people did, and they put that video out there. But if it is not much bigger than this, 33 feet versus 33 feet, I'm all about that. Now, I was telling you about PP Man. I texted him and said I was going live tonight. I was going to give a shout out to the PP Spike, and I should have put it back together, but I did not. But can you imagine the front seat post in the front of the boat? Not sure if the dimensions are much different than the POTA 20. I didn't ask, didn't think to ask, and I didn't think to take a finger measurement around it to see, come back and measure what the size of the inside is. But I can guarantee you that there will be a PP Spike made for that 33 footer. So when they do start to ship, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so my face isn't in the way of this particular text right here. Shipping late October in limited quantities. I hope that I was able to get into the first batch of these. Here's why. I love taking my boat out. Since I started POTA, I haven't been fishing once that I can recall. I actually, that's not true. I took it to the ocean one time, and I did go fishing in the ocean with my dad in the it is bigger than a POTA 20, but not as big as a Pactena mast. So I can't just be buying MAST all the time. I cannot. There are a bunch out there. There's Soda Beams, Pactena. There's the Carbon 6, which I think might be one of those brands. There's the Gigaparts Explorer. This is just easy to get your hands on right now. Not quite easy. You have to wait. But so this going down into the front seat post and a 31-foot mast that I can just carry like this and not even have any strain at all. This doesn't take up any space in the boat. I could hide this thing with the life vest under the front section of the boat. And then my random wire 29-footer will fit beautifully on a 31-foot mast. And Eddie and I discovered that you don't have to use a counterpoise if you're over salt water. And probably, I think we ran into the same problem when we did our test out at Reed Bingham with the 31-foot jack kite pole and the 29-foot random wire, is that if you put a counterpoise on there, it's going to throw the thing for a loop. Not as a loop, and doesn't participate as a loop or even identify as a loop. It just goes crazy. And this is going to change the Swanee River boat roves that I go do. I love to go down there. I love to get in the boat. We took, again, I said this at the beginning, but we took John and Diane, KN4 SWS and KO4 Florida High School, to two places in Florida. We went to Withlacoochee Wildlife. I can't even remember. It's got a long name. And that was a short ride. Dan, WD4DAN, actually tried to take his truck back there, but his little two-wheel drive truck had to get pulled out by me in my Jeep. But we took the Jeep back there. It's a treacherous ride if you're going to ride through the road, as we call it, to get to Withlacoochee State Conservation Area, I think is what it is. If you want to look it up, it's US 8713. I did it from the water yesterday for the first time, and I highly recommend it. I just released a short a couple hours ago on my YouTube channel. If you go look at the latest short, you can see where Eddie and John and Diane and myself had the boat. There's, of course, the Swanee River, which is 20 feet deep just at the back of the boat. It legit 20 feet deep. It goes from 100-foot sea level, there he is, to a complete drop-off, and in a matter of about 3 feet. So it goes. And then there's a little waterfall, a creek that's coming down the side. And Eddie, KO4 NLL Smoke and POTA, said, now that is some QRN that I could get behind. So we had the creek running behind us, or behind him and in front of us, as we were playing Parks on the Air down there on the water. One of the challenges of operating on the water is the MFJ 1898 just wasn't quite tall enough. So if we could have had a 33-foot pole on the front of the boat, I mean, that would have been sweet. So that is one way that things are going to get changed. But the other thing is, I can go anywhere with something like this in my backpack. I won't get my wife yelling at me for having the back of her truck all junked up. And of course, I do need to go look for the cap to this one. Now, let's look at the cost though. So, yeah, not behind the limestone cliffs. They're at Withlacoochee State Conservation Area. Withlacoochee Hills. It's quite a bit of limestone cliff right there. I want to say it's probably 10 or 12 feet tall. The water level is at 100 feet above sea level. As the flood stage was set, we saw some flood lines on trees that had to be another 10 or 12 feet up the tree, even as we were coasting by in the boat. And I think that this is going to be a game changer for sure. This right here is just going to lighten the load a lot. The 20-footer is going to be great. Now, I was saying earlier and did not complete the sentence, but PP Man uses a 4-to-1 Ballon. That's what I was saying. I want one of these. I think that his antenna is only 17 feet, his random wire, with a 17-foot counterpoise. Now, he can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I probably remembered that right. The rest of y'all can send me some hearts. Okay, and Eddie says he has a Kilo Oscar 4 Fox said Zulu on the way to use with the POTA 20. So he bought I saw the chat in Ham Radio Adventure Guys Discord. I'm not going to make a Discord for my channel. If you want to hang out with me, you're going to have to hang out with all the rest of us with Ham Radio Adventure Guys Discord. I'll be throwing that out just about all the time. So James, that's for you if you're still here chatting with us. And I just want to say that I gotta get real close and say this real quiet. Oh, you know what? I think my wife might be watching this, but I might have taken some money that I just got yesterday, and I might have pre-ordered one of these so that I can get it first. So there's that. Okay, y'all good? See my bald chrome dome up there? I went ahead and pre-ordered one of these. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, I had to take a small break there. Right now you can pre-order this. They're saying that in limited quantities, late October. Sounds like a birthday present for me. And yep. So we all love wire antennas. And really, honestly, to tell you the truth, that's saying the same thing 3 times, 3 different ways. These are all about wire antennas. And how are you going to get these things up in the air? If there's no trees nearby, like when Eddie and I did the activation from Reed Bingham, and it's in my channel, it's buried because I've posted a lot of videos this past year. And you know, with YouTube's algorithm, okay, 17 and a half, no Ballon. Oh. Okay. You know, I'm scared of random wires that use no Ballon, to be honest. But I'm willing to give that a shot. I may want to make a 1-to-1. I just feel like having a... Yes. Yes. Yeah. Ham Radio Adventure Guy says, sometimes I have to message ravens to hold up my wires. So I think he does have one that he calls Cletus. And Cletus the Raven will hold his antenna up for quite some while. Y'all, I went outside the other day to put up my 40 meter end-fed half wave the other day. The mowers must have gotten, the kid was back there, he got tangled in it and must have pulled it down. It's not up there very tight. So I had to lower it down from the 50-foot spot on my antenna out there. Well, as I'm replacing, putting it back onto the screw and the wing nut, a bird crapped right on my head. Something makes me think, because I use ICOM at home, that James sent Cletus the Raven to take a dump on my head. So there is that. But I do believe with the 31-footer, or 33-foot, the POTA 33, we'll go back now. The POTA 33 is definitely going to need, that was the message. Well, see, right now, Yaesu's around here outnumber ICOM 3-to-1. I have the Yaesu FT60, which is VHF UHF, and I have 2 Yaesu FT891s. One is permanently mounted in the, you know what, Mike, now that you mentioned it, K4SWL did the same dang thing. In fact, I think he took speaker wire, went straight out into the field. It's a video that he posted, I want to say that was probably 2 years ago. Tom did do that. He used, yes, it is like a dipole. That is true. But it's weird that it also works as a random wire. Very weird. But because it is not tuned to any specific frequency, I think that is the premise behind a random wire, is that if it falls within a wavelength, half wavelength, or something thereof of a particular band, it is going to be very ugly for the rest of the bands. But if a random wire doesn't fall into that wavelength, multiplication or division of a wavelength of any particular frequency, then you can use a tuner to tune it in. And I wish that Dan was here. Dan swears by the 50-foot coax rule for random wires. Now, on the boat the other day, we only used a 25-footer, so it was only half that length. But on a 16-foot John boat, you don't want a bunch of wire coiled up, because that has unintended results as well. But this ring right here, okay, well, great. We don't need Dan here then. We'll keep K8TIN in, Dan. And Hammer Radio Adventure Guy said Dan got that rule from Hammer Radio Adventure Guy, who has a lot more activations than probably all of us put together. This, I think, will be pivotal. I should just say words wrong, because apparently if you say words wrong, it triggers people and gets you more views. But this is going to be the pivotal moment for a 31-foot pole, is going to be how is it going to be guide. Because 33 feet, sorry, I keep saying 31 because I'm so used to the jack kite pole, but 33 feet for the Gigaparts POTA 33, and that's a lot of carbon to be in the air all at once. So I think that a guy somewhere, if you say words wrong, my phone spells them right. See, that's great. Mine does not. I texted somebody something the other day. We were talking about flight with I was talking about flying with one of my friends, and was talking, somehow it took a Verga and turned it into Vespa. And he said, I'm not riding a scooter in an airplane. And I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about rain that evaporates before it hits the ground. Anyways, this, I think, this is for Mike, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Tango X-Ray. Guy ring may need to be a little bit, the diameter of the center is going to need to be a little bit smaller so that it can ride up. Oh, it'll spell the wrong word right, not correct. I got you now. I got you. A little bit smaller diameter so that as you're putting up the mast, that this will sit at a higher level with the guy strings hanging, or guy ropes hanging off. And so I was thinking, on the front of the boat with the PP spike and the POTA 33 that I'm talking about as if this was the POTA 33 in there. This chat's getting out of hand. As this is sitting, Ham Radio Hobby, good evening. This sitting into the front seat mount post in the boat, which according to the boat manufacturer, you cannot ride in that seat if the boat is going faster than 5 miles per hour. So I don't even use it in there because I don't go fishing. You can sit on the freaking boat itself, okay? Take 4 people comfortably if you don't mind your butt going to sleep. So this in the front seat hole with a 33-foot random 33-foot mast, 29-foot random wire hanging off with the guy ring somewhere about maybe a third to a half of the way, and I could tie this off to the front of the boat where the winch connects to, and then the 2 in the back I can tie off to the there's There's James's favorite. Is that the one you do, James? The cleats in the back of the boat, you can tie the other one off to the cleats in the back of the boat. It's not the perfect 120 degrees for guy wires. If you guy something, they will have the best resistance to the stresses if they are at 120 degrees. Now, for you math geniuses, a circle is 360 degrees. If you need to place something at 3 points, you have 0, 120, 240, 360 as you go around the circle. If you guy it, they will come. So, I think that this is going to be especially for my boat, is going to be the game changer. Because, the Swanee River is only an hour from me. And if we could find an open boat ramp, we can get on it. So that is a video that's going to come up at the end of the month, mid-September. I am a little bit behind, so I do want to mention to the the folks that are in here that, let's see, put Eddie in the back of the boat, and now you're, dang. Mike, the next time we see you, we gonna get you. So, going back to our fans here, Kilo Oscar 4, Fox Sierra Zulu, you have your own channel and you have a store. If you've got the link, throw that link out there. Dan's not here. Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar, in the chat, put a link to your channel. It'll be YouTube and whatever your handle is. That way you can have some folks go check you out there, and maybe subscribe to you. How about that? So this is definitely a game changer for how I'm going to POTA. I'm looking really forward to it. Oh my gosh. Ham Radio Hobby, you're going to make me change my image already before I go to bed tonight. Thank you for joining as a loyal fan. I appreciate your contribution. And now you can put my face as a high five, Eddie. We high fived each other the last 3 times that we got. Oh, four, because Dan actually joined the bottom level and said that if Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu won the giveaway last week, that he would upgrade to the highest level, and he did. So we actually did 4 high fives. So I'm gonna high five both of y'all. Ham Radio Hobby, we will get you in on that image for the next one. Now, my videos are made usually about a month in advance. I have stuff scheduled to put out. So for those of you that get the shout outs, don't be canceling on me just because you didn't get shouted out in the next couple videos, because they were created before you're a member. But going forth, about mid-September, you should start to see the welcome screen as I just showed it just a minute ago. I'll show you again right now. Boom. So we just got another loyal fan to join Toby and Chris, Kilo Oscar 4, sniffing zebras, antennas. And so that is freaking awesome. So I hope that this has been an informative, an informative stream, and that I have completed at least 3 of the 400 sentences that I started tonight. If you go listen to the stream that we did, the 1000th subscriber giveaway, where we gave away 2 keys because I made the boo-boo and didn't show the wheel spinning on the first one, that was my bad. So we gave another one away just for the heck of it, and dang it if Mom, Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu, didn't win that bad boy. So I do have those packed up. I haven't made the shipping labels yet, but they will go out. And then I guess I'm going to make some stickers, and I'm going to give away some stickers. So while that is not in the membership right now, and I can't go back and change them, But that's going to be something that every fan's going to get. So you will get a sticker from me as soon as I get them made. It will not be long, I promise. So it is nearing the top of the stream hour. And to summarize, 31-foot jack kite pole, not a sponsor. If you want one, these are great. Wow. So a door hanger just mysteriously flew across the room when I lifted that up. And here is one of our winners right here. Hi, Mommy. Mom is in the other room. I don't have anybody to go get up. Y'all, I'm just telling you that my security camera's not pointing the right direction, but as soon as I lifted this up, the angel that is on the garage door literally flew into the cabinets and fell on the floor. You heard it right here, folks. So that is pretty crazy. But 31 feet. This is great if you want to leave it on the back of your vehicle. I have driven hundreds, maybe even thousands of miles with this in your political flag holder. And again, my real only politics are parks on the air. So there is that. Just because this sticker and this sticker is abundant, that's why they're on here. I didn't want to put any of my good stickers like Ham Radio Adventure Guy and WD4DAN. I put them in the special places. But this flag holder has a hole in the bottom, so it'll drain water out of it, and I leave the jack kite pole in it for the most part. Then you got your POTA 20, which, yes, POTA Soda 2024. That's it. That's all I want to do. I steer clear of religion and politics. I try to keep these my streams and my videos mostly family friendly, but when you hang out with the folks, when you hang out with the likes of some of us off stream, we can have some pretty wild times together for sure. So the PP Man Spike, again, hamradioadventureguy.com. You can get these for $15. If you add this, adds another $2. Totally worth it. And if you catch them at a show, bet you don't even have to pay shipping for this stuff. They'll deliver it to you if you go to certain shows. I am looking forward to Orlando, which is coming up in February. That will be here before we know it, I promise. The time flies when you're having fun. And while I don't get to go out and do POTA every day, I am Tuesday doing a POTA presentation. Hopefully Eddie hasn't forgotten, but we're going to Albany. The Georgia Parks on the Air contest was sent an email, and lo and behold, it came from the Albany Club in Albany, Georgia, and they were asking if somebody could talk about Parks on the Air. And so whatever members show up to the Avalon Church in Albany, Kyle, you have to go to Orlando, but whoever shows up, we are definitely going to be giving them the rundown. We have at least another year and a half of experience under our belts. Eddie has 365 daily activations under his belt that he can share his knowledge and experience from all of the rigs. And he says, not me. So you're not going to be able to go, Eddie? Oh, I guess he's not going to. I don't know what Eddie's talking about. There's been too many things. Let's see. I have one of those 10-meter poles, plus my favorite liar political flag holder. Yep. That's what it is. So when the POTA 33 makes it, I'm going to try to be one of the first to actually go out, and I'm going to do my review straight up from the field. Eddie, just send me a text and explain what the heck. I've already lost track. Okay, thank you. Eddie is my emotional support POTA friend. He did not forget. And Ham Radio Adventure Guy, James Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, who says that if you do POTA and you are not in his log, you are not a POTA hunter. So, Kyle, you have to be there. See, now you've started something, Kyle. Everybody everybody is telling you that you have to be at Orlando. Some of the things in Orlando, and yes, your POTA friend is strong 5'9". Eddie is he's my kit to my cat, my yin to my yang. Like, I really wanted him to go on the boat with me, and I begged his wife the other day. I said, please let him go with me. I need my buddy. And Eddie brings the party with him. Like, I bring a party, but it's not always the party that people want to go to. But when we get around Eddie, and shoot, man, Huntsville was a mess with the rest of us, with Whiskey Zero, Charlie Golf Charlie, and everybody else that was around the picnic table. That was a blast. But y'all, it is 9:32 p.m. Eastern. And is there anything that y'all want to put in the chat that you want me to put in the video? Yes, absolutely. I do have a birthday party recap. From my last birthday party when I turned 41. They planned a surprise POTA birthday party. And there was Dan, Eddie, Chris, AE4XO, Kilo Quebec 4, Georgia Electric Company, though he doesn't work there anymore, Golf Echo Charlie, Ken, Ty, he was there, and Dan pranked me, came over my HT at S9 plus 20,000, and said, hey man, I can't make it to your birthday, but I wanted to tell you a happy birthday on 14652. And I said, wow, how in the world are you making it all the way from Valdosta? And I wish I had the camera. It's only a story I could tell. He's like, you didn't know? I got me a 17-element beam up at 150 feet or something like that. You know what? I house Charlie Golf Charlie in my camper at Huntsville, and we have got plans to do it again next year. 5 stars, man. He is a good camper buddy. We had a great conversation, and we both had to tell each other to shut up and go to sleep. It was great. Don't go to Orlando. Okay, so if Alpha Alpha Zero Zulu doesn't go, he has to do a 500-word essay describing Ham Radio Adventure Guy's activations, one essay per activation until one of them cries uncle, for sure. Kyle, hit me up after the stream. If he does do that to you, I'll give you some secrets on how to write a decent essay. As long as he doesn't know you're doing it, you could do that real easy. Yes, he did bring the bacon to the yard. Y'all, he bragged about this bacon. I cooked said bacon. I ate said bacon. Bacon was good. We had bacon. We had fresh eggs straight out from the rear ends of some chickens out there. And so, I've been saying this about 3 times. No. Who did a nudist colony POTA activation? That's a legit thing if I'm not mistaken, or pretty daggum close to it. But appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Appreciate you, the supporters that have joined tonight. This is a one-off stream. I'm not a Sunday streamer. Usually I have to get ready for work, but I think I'm ready for work tomorrow. But I wanted to give the PP Man Spike its shake on the internet. I have made mention of it in videos. The POTA 20 Explorer MAST is awesome, and the POTA 33 is going to be a game changer for me. That's the summation. I think that I will still keep this big one around to drag around on the back of the Jeep, but as far as doing POTA from a BOTA, the POTA 33 is definitely going to be the one for me. Putting it into the seat mount in the front of the boat, 33 feet up with the 29-foot random wire that I am going to get fixed very soon. That is going to be where it's at. Now, I could do QRP. I've got a QRP one too, but I like that the bigger the ballon, the bigger the signal. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. I'm going to wish y'all the best week in Parks on the Air, POTA hunting, POTA activating. I will be back Friday night again, and Eddie may or may not be with me again. They will fly. You could almost put a 6-element beam on the top of this thing. I mean, it's an absolute beast. Crap, y'all just distracted me. Friday night, next Friday night, at 9 p.m., Eddie and I may return back, or it might just be me. I don't know. We'll work out his plans, but we're gonna do an HT antenna shootout. I have 6 antennas. 2 are control, and I've got 4 other antennas to use. Eddie may bring over 1 more antenna that is not mentioned. Reminder, Eddie, to put that in your bag if you are able to make it. And we're going to do a tiny spectrum analyzer analytic review of each of these antennas and how well they perform. We're not going to mention the SWR. We're not going to mention the size of these antennas. Possibly going camping depending on the weather. Okay, so it might just be me. That'll be about as fun as it was tonight, I hope. So we're going to do that on Friday night at 9 p.m. It'll be another live opportunity. I have the Tiny SA. See, that stupid heart is in the way. I can't see. Okay, when is Albany? Albany is going to be at the Avalon Church in Albany at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern. Eddie and I will be doing a chat. We were invited to dinner. I don't know if we'll make it because the dinner is in Sylvester. That's where these guys are going. Tuesday. Sorry, Tuesday. So that's the 27th, August 27th. So if you want to come down and hang with us, that would be freaking awesome. Okay, back to the Friday stream. Tiny SA. I have the Tiny SA Ultra. And I am going to hook the antenna up to it. And we're going to use 20 or 30 decibels of internal attenuation. And we're going to transmit from each of the antennas a couple of times. I have it where the Tiny SA will hook up to my laptop, and you can watch the graph, and we can write down the numbers to see which antenna for the HT that I have access to reigns supreme. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Kyle has already wished us 73s and 88s. 73s to all of you that run QRO. If you're QRO or go home, QRO or quit, that we are gone.